This week we're off to another castle-y castle. Steve gets ready to do some art, and I am back in the sewing room making pillows.
So lately I have been feeling the urge to paint. So I decided I would make myself a frame. So this is 5 foot by 2.5 foot. And now I need to get some canvas stretched over it. This is something that I always do. It's just a personal preference on my part to stretch my own canvas. The store-bought ones are great. I have no problem with those, but this is just something that I've always done. So I had the wood, built the frame. Now we stretch the canvas, and hopefully I can find some time to do some painting. Well, I have this canvas that was kindly given to us by our friends Ed and Candace. It was found in their barn when they moved in. And I'm going to cut a nice big piece off of this. It's actually linen, and it's vintage linen by the looks of it, so I've never really painted on it. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. And it has a layer of gesso on it already by the looks of it, but I'm probably going to add another layer just because I like a surface in a particular way. So, and then we will get this mounted to the frame, and then we'll have a piece ready to get started on. All right, there we have it. A 5 foot high canvas. But hopefully we'll have a piece on it. At least the first part's done. You can see there's a bit of flexibility left in the canvas. I kind of like having that flexibility. I will put a layer of gesso on this, so you can see there's a couple of dents and things like that. Once you do the gesso though, it actually tightens the fibers, so it should tighten this up a little bit and be a good surface to paint on. So there we go. We will endeavor to work on a new painting, which I will admit, it's been a long time since I painted. So, we'll see how this goes, but I have an idea in my head, so that's always a good start. Well, it is another winter road trip.
It is.
This time we have come only about an hour away from the chateau to the town and the castle of Villebois-Lavalette.
I think so, yes. It's a longer one. Yeah.
It is, but yeah, it's a spectacular chateau. There's been a chateau here for over 1,000 years. The first one was built in 989, if I remember correctly.
Well done.
AD. It was a wood structure, mind you. So this is the 4th iteration of it. But the stone structure started being built in the 11th century, if I remember correctly. And they've been added on to ever since. And it's got an amazing wall around it with 7 towers, lookout towers that surround the entire property. But it sits on top of this beautiful mountain beautiful hill, let's be fair. But it has spectacular views. I mean, you can see for hundreds of miles in every direction here. So
no one's sneaking up on you here.
No, exactly. So what do you think? Should we go and check it out?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
So I just had an interesting vision. So we're inside the walled area here. The chateau itself is up behind us here. But the really fascinating thing is you can almost hear the village that would have lived in this within the walls, right? You sort of picture those period pieces where, you walk through the streets of a marketplace, or you'd hear a forge, somebody hammering steel in the background, or the smell of people making food. And this would have been a village, quite literally, within the walls of this castle itself, which is really, you can almost smell it here. I don't know, for some reason that just really hit me. And it did say that there are foundation walls that they found buried underneath all the current grass, which would have indicated that there would have been stalls and other structures in this area. Really kind of cool. Obviously, the reconstruction is still underway. Lots of stones to be replaced.
So this is where the seigneurs lived, and it was mainly built in the time of the barons of Moray. But at one point, they broke the first rule of Chateau, which is, of course,
don't burn the chateau.
Exactly.
Happens to us all.
Let's hope not. So December 1822, they had a fire.
Beautiful to see all these ornate pieces of stone that have clearly been carved. Almost like bones left on the ground here from something that was quite beautiful at some point. Most likely windows, I'm guessing, just looking at the architectural features that are on it, but quite spectacular.
We're just going for a walk literally around the outside of the castle.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much this view has actually changed in 1,000 years.
Yeah,
and we're both guessing probably not a lot.
Well, we're curious to see, like, looking at the buildings that are out there, would they have been around at, in the 12th and 14th century when this was at its heyday?
Yeah.
With people around. I mean, obviously this would have been farmland, but are the houses that are still here
the actual houses, or built on the foundation of the previous houses?
Yeah. Well, that was interesting.
That was very enjoyable.
Yeah, I like this castle a lot. It feels almost like you can picture being there and in its heyday, and just hearing and smelling and seeing all of the things that would have been there.
Yeah, I think the current proprietor has done a lot of work to do the restoration, sometimes from literal crumbling walls. So, we have a lot of empathy for that and the work that they've put in. And it really is quite, evocative, I think is a good word.
Yeah, and it's, the beautiful location. You can see just how gorgeous the view is from here, and
it's a gorgeous day. Green. So
yeah, yes, thank goodness spring seems to have started to spring here.
Yeah.
Well, hope that continues.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the tour as well.
Yeah, good trip. This is the market square that's in the Villebois. Really fascinating structure because it's been built on a hill. No part of it seems to be of the same angle, and yet it still stands.
Oh yes, the dining room is still a sewing room because I'm having way too much fun getting these UFOs done. So I've decided that I need a matching bed cover and some pillows to go on the chatelaine bed. And I've got lots of fabric left. A few people had a great idea about putting curtains in behind on the 4-poster, but Steve and I looked at it and we just felt it just gets too cluttered back there with the end tables and the curtains and the window, and it's just a little too much. So we're gonna leave it as is for now, but thank you for the great suggestions. I think you'll see coming up, there's a couple of other good suggestions which we're gonna take advantage of. So thank you all for your comments, that was very helpful. And now I'm going to get on with making the bed cover and a couple of pillows that have been in my mind for a while. I've still got 4 meters of the velour, which I want to make the bed cover from, but it's 150 centimeters wide and the bed is 180. So I will once again put a jacquard border around it, and that will make it matchy with everything else and be very pretty, one hopes. Well, I am faffing about with lengths of fabrics because I have almost enough to do the borders, and it's always almost. It's either shorten the blanket so it's not square or cut weird lengths of fabric. Like it's just, we're talking 10 centimeters, but it's not gonna look right if I don't do it that way. That's annoying. All right, everyone stay with me as we double miter this corner. So I want it to have a 45-degree angle out from the corner when we're finished, but it needs to do that on both sides. So that means we need to 45 out from this point and then 45 back on the other side. So of course that's 90 degrees in the middle. Everyone with me? Let's do it. First step is to pin right through the seams, like right through the seams so that it matches on the other side and comes out the other side. So that way, you know that this edge is going to be a 45 when it's all flattened out, because that's going to be our baseline for everything. And then it's just a matter of getting this flat and pinned and not moving around while we draw the 45 on it, and then I'll baste it. So I take my quilting square, and this is actually the 45 angle, so that means that this edge should be 45 from, yeah, gotta do the math here with me. Anyways, this will be the 45 from here, and then we draw the line using the chalk pencil. Makes sense, right? And as always, I've basted, and then I'll stitch, and then we'll check, and then we'll cut, et voila. I maybe should have put that time lapse on, because now it's full dark outside. I just did a lot of pinning along the edge of this blanket. I know it looks like I'm not in the sewing room, but I'm about to go to the sewing room because it's pillow day. I got all these pillows that I want to recover. I've got the little ones that we did a couple of years ago that need to be refreshed, and then some new ones and some bigger new ones that are all going to go on the couches and whatnot. And I kind of have a plan, but we'll see what evolves. First up is a couple of pillows that I want to do to finish the chatelaine add-ons that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, the curtains and the throw. On my first attempt to turn inside out, I discovered I caught some of the ruffle in the edging, so here I am trying to figure out where that is and then unpicking it so that I can reseal it later. So here I accidentally make cartridge pleats by putting in too many basting stitches. I need it to be looser so that it gathers more tightly. My poor machine could not handle this many layers of almost canvas thickness, and so I just gave up and ended up hand stitching the rest of the little detail on there myself. Oh yes, we can talk about this bottom edge and how I've done it completely backwards. It's a pillow, for goodness sake. Apparently I've been making too many of them. I'm gonna go have some supper.
Phew, well, you have been busy this week.
Yeah, It was fun though. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to get going on some creative projects because I'm starting to feel a little jealous now.
Get going, get painting.
Well, thanks guys for another great week.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Make
Yeah.
sure you check out what's going on manormaker.com. We've got a lot of great events coming up. And of course, that like and subscribe button are still there for you every week if you like them.
Yep, and of course Patreon is there if you feel so inclined. And we're so happy that you guys are joining us for our adventures.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Have a great week.